Amogh Lila Prabhu Ji, most of the youth today, we want to live a materialistically driven life. We don't want to renounce and take monkhood. In this case, if you want to live a blissful and a spiritual life, what are some things that we should leave? For example, from my experience, when I started chanting, and I also recently left onion garlic intake, and I can just feel the clarity and the peace in my mind and body. So can you clarify that a little bit? What are some lifestyle changes that we should make to live this blissful and spiritually driven life?
Firstly, why mostly youngsters, they get inclined towards sense enjoyment? Because Kali Yuga offers first class advertisement for sense enjoyment. It is very glossy, very glamorous presentation of sense gratification. That enjoy your senses and then you are happy. Like I saw one ad of Cadbury's, and the girl has taken the Cadbury's chocolate, and there is a chocolatey explosion through that Cadbury's eclairs, and then some chocolate is coming from the mouth and ears and eyes. Oh, a chocolatey explosion, and this girl is in ecstasy. Cadbury's for you. Coca-Cola, open happiness. So it is glamorized in such a way, and that's why youngsters, when they see such advertisement of sense enjoyment, they are naturally driven towards it. Already we have sanskar from past lives, and then there is advertisement as well. Done. Yes, more conditioning is here. That's true. So, not that everyone has to become a monk. That okay, spirituality means becoming monk, wearing saffron robes, getting yourself shaven headed. Okay, next time Meera would also have shaven head. Yes. Is that so? Absolutely not. Like in our ISKCON, the Hare Krishnas, 99.99% devotees are householders. We have homemakers. Yes, like Arjuna. Arjuna is a grihastha. Yes, he has got 4 wives. He is super duper grihastha. So that's why even a householder can also practice spirituality. It is just that you have to do A, B, C, D. That's it. A for association of devotees on regular basis. Hearing from them, learning from them, inquiring from them, asking questions. We should do that. B for books like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. We should regularly study these masterpiece scriptures. We should study them. C for chanting of the holy name. Just like we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so we should be chanting. And D for diet of Krishna Prasad. That's it. So this A, B, C, D will give you X, Y, Z of spiritual life. E and F is also there, Ekadashi fasting. Yes, but in case you are not doing that, at least you can start with A, B, C, D, and that's very effective. And a householder can do that. A grihastha can do this A, B, C, D. One doesn't have to become a monk. But although we need some monks as well, but not everyone has to become a monk. Just like we need some BSF soldiers as well, right? But not everyone has to become a soldier.
It's not in everyone's control.
Yeah, 99.99% people are civilians. Yeah, but few people are required to be in the border security force. That's also required. That's a profile which is very important. Few choose that as well, but not everyone has to. So similarly, some border security force personals, but mostly people are civilians, happily living. Yes. So some people choose the life of monks so that they can full-time educate the masses in the science of spirituality. No other business, no money-making business, just selfless service to society by giving them spiritual knowledge. And that's required. So that profile is also required, but not everyone has to. We need accountants, we need engineers, we need doctors, we need architects.
Prabhuji, the Bhagavad Gita is a 5,000 plus old scripture, right? And it has so many shlokas. I know this is difficult to just select one, but because each one has its own significance. But if there's one shloka for the youth that you would recommend that we can practically implement on a daily basis, what would that be?
There are many. Of course, the number one shloka which comes in the climax of Bhagavad Gita is chapter 18, verse 66. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishami ma shucha. He says, just give up all these worldly religions and take exclusively my shelter. I'll free you from all sinful reactions. I'll free you from all sinful reactions means he can actually change our astrology. Somebody can doubt, well, really? He says, Ma Shacha, do not fear. That's my insurance policy. So that's the climax of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That's the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. But how to now practically do that? So another verse which is my favorite one is chapter 10, verse number 9, which is Macchitta Madagat Prana Bodhyanta Parasparam Kathantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. That means your heart should always dwell in me. Okay, then somebody can say, well, Machitta. Yes, your life should be devoted to me. Madhagat prana. But how? Somebody can ask. So then he says, Machita Madhagat prana bodhyanta paraswaram. That means remind each other about me. That means we should remind each other about Lord Shri Krishna, about his form, about his name, about his qualities, about his leelas, and the teachings which we can derive from his life, his leelas, and his chanting his names. Okay, bodhyanta paraswaram. And discuss about me. How much? Nityam. Always, as much as possible. But what do we get by this? All of doing Machita Madhagat Prana, Bodhyanta Parasparam, Kathantasya Mam Nityam. What do we get by all of this? Somebody can ask. So then Lord Krishna says, Tushyanti cha, Ramanti cha. You would be greatly satisfied and you would be greatly happy. So that's the result. We all want to be satisfied. We all want to be happy. But how to do that? So Lord Krishna is sharing that secret in chapter 10, verse number 9. That means we should hear about him and we should talk about him. When we do this, then we naturally remember him. Just like in college days, the boys were talking about the girls. Hey, that girl, man, she is wow. So they are discussing about girls, and girls are talking about the boys. Oh yeah, Rahul is such a cute boy, yeah. I like him so much, So they are discussing about the boys. In this way, the mind of the girls always dwell on boys, and boys' mind naturally dwell on girls. Why? Because they are doing katha. They are doing lalki katha or lalka katha. Talking about boys or girls. In this way, their mind dwell on each other. Same funda, same logic goes on Supreme Lord as well. More we discuss about him, more we read about him, hear about him, discuss about him. So in this way, our mind will be devoted towards the Supreme Lord. And when we do this, what is the result? What do we get by doing so? We are giving our hearts to the Lord. What do we get? Well, sir, tushyanti cha, ramanti cha. You'll be greatly satisfied. Yes, and you'll be very, very happy. This is all what we want. And more we are satisfied, more we are happy. We can give others also same thing. We will make others also satisfied and happy. Like in corporates, we say the shit flows from the top. Because up there, the person who is crazy guy, cranky guy, shit flows from the top. But nectar also flows from the top. So that's why more we are happy, we can make others happy. We have nectar, we give others nectar. And when we have all of these toxins in our hearts, so we give, yeah. So what we have is what we give. So tushyanti cha, ramanti cha. And the secret is given in chapter 10, verse number 9. And by doing this chapter 10, verse number 9, we would be naturally executing chapter 18, verse 66. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami. I'll free you from all sinful reactions. Wow. Who can? Yeah, that's a blessing. And then it reassures, Mashacha, do not fear. So that means, in this way, that's the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes people say, well, Bhagavad Gita talks about karam karo. Just do your karma. Well, people are already doing that. Phal ki ichha mat karo. They don't even say this, phal ki ichha mat karo. They say just na karam karo. They just do your karma. Well, people are already doing their karma. What's so great about this? Actually, karma should also be dovetailed towards the Supreme Lord. In a way, whatever fruit which we get after doing karma, it should be offered to the Supreme Lord as a token of love, as a token of devotion. In this way, our karma becomes purified. When the karma becomes purified, that means my earnings, my money becomes purified. With that money, I eat grains. The food which I eat, that is purified. When this purified food goes inside, my existence becomes purified. When my existence becomes purified, my intelligence also becomes purified. And when intelligence becomes purified, then we understand the divine knowledge. Otherwise, divine knowledge is, what is given in Bhagavad Gita, Baba? And then people doze off on the Bhagavad Gita. They can't understand what's going on because intelligence is yet not ready. Right? So by doing Karma Yoga, we prepare for Jnana Yoga. That means taking knowledge. And by taking this theoretical knowledge, yes, I've taken this knowledge. When we execute this knowledge in devotional service to the Lord, that's Bhakti Yoga. So Bhagavad Gita, when it mentions about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, so some people think that there are different ways to reach God. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Oh cutie pie, it is one way. It is not three different ways. It is not three different paths. It is one path with first ladder as Karma Yoga, second ladder as Jnana Yoga, and then there is Bhakti Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga ultimately is Prem Bhakti Yoga. That means reviving our love for the Supreme Lord. In this way, we can conclude about the Bhagavad Gita that it is a manual to revive our super ecstatic, euphoric, transcendental love for the Lord.
You mentioned astrology a little bit earlier, so that brings me to the question of free will versus destiny. Vedic astrology is part of the Rig Veda, so I'm assuming that it has truth to it. So, do we have free will, Prabhuji, in our life, or is everything already written and predestined?
See, astrology is just a language to read out karma. Just like Devanagari is a lipi, it's a script to read Hindi or Sanskrit. It's Devanagari, right? So there is a language to read a message. Similarly, to read the karma, there has to be a language. And astrology is that language. Say, for example, somebody says, you have a Sade Sati of Ketu, or you have 19 years of Mahadasha of Shani. So basically, I'm telling you 19 years would be slow, frustration would be there. In case there is Ketu, you may have to undergo some kind of operation, you may meet some accident. So basically, I am telling about the karma, but how to read karma? This is the language to read karma. Rahu, Ketu, Shani, Mahadasha, Antardasha, Kal Sarpa Yog, or Guru Chandal Yog, and all of this is basically language to read out what will happen to you, right? But with language, we cannot change karma. Just like in a PDF, I can read the content, but I cannot change the content. It's a PDF. So similarly, astrology can read karma, but astrology cannot change karma. Only by bhakti, only by devotion to Supreme Lord, we can change karma. And that is what Lord Krishna is saying in chapter 18, verse 66. Only by bhakti, the karmas can be changed. So in karmas also there is aprarabdha and there is prarabdha. That means unfructified karmic reaction and fructified karmic reaction. So first, devotional service or spirituality or bhakti attacks the unfructified karma. That means that which is stored. And for that in future, I may have to bear some kind of suffering. So first it does that. It attacks that part. Now this body is a prarabdha karma. This is a prarabdha. Now if this is also destroyed, how will we execute spirituality, our day-to-day activity? So that's why this is not destroyed. But in a way, this is detoxed, so that this is no more a bondage for the soul. All the soul is there in the body, but body is no more a binding thing for the soul. So soul is liberated even being in the body. So prarabdha karma is also destroyed in a gradual way, in a very subtle way. That body is there, yet the body is not it acts like a bondage for us, like that. So now what's the connection between destiny and free will? Is everything free or everything is destined? And you can see that there are people who belong to these two classes, either to this class or to this class. There are people who say, well, everything is destined. Whatever you are to get, you will get it. जब जब जो जो होना है तब तब सो सो होता है. Whatever is to happen will happen. Destiny. So do nothing. It's all destiny, Baba. So they are known as Bhagyavadis. That means they are driven more by destiny. Another extreme is that of people who are driven by exclusively the free will. And they belong to this class of law of attraction. If you are desperate for something, the cosmos will conspire to give it to you. You just have to be desperate.
Just have to believe in it.
Yes, you just have to believe in it with all conviction. And with all conviction, when you have belief and then you start working, you will get it. What destiny, man? Nothing. So of course, cosmos has got other things to do as well, apart from fulfilling our desperations. And there are people who are not desperate, yet they got. Like Shah Rukh Khan, when he was asked that, you are so successful, how do you define your success? He said, well, I think my success is an accident. That means he was not very desperate for it and he got it. We get many things in life, although you are not desperate. I got nice, beautiful wife and obedient children, but the person was not desperate for them, but he got them. On the other hand, there are people who are desperate for something or someone, and that person is not there in life. People even cut their nerves and take blood and write love letters using their blood as ink. And yet the other person married somebody else. Quite desperate. But that person went away. So that's why this is another extreme, that we believe law of attraction. You believe in something, it will come to you. It is bound to come to you. Well, not really. So life is neither in this extreme nor in this extreme. Neither with the Bhagyavadis nor with Karmavadis. Life is in between the two. There are few things, they are in my destiny and they cannot be changed. My parents are my destiny. I can't change. I can't decide, okay, next time, Tata Birla. Yes. We can't decide. They are my destiny. My face cut is my destiny. Like some people, they have got round face. Even they do dieting, even still they appear fatty. So that's their destiny. Yeah. So there are few things that are in destiny. Few things they are free will. There is free will. There is choice. You can decide that yes, what kind of choice I should make in this particular situation. How should I respond? Whether I should react, whether I should respond. Our association in life, we make choices. Yeah, this association is not good. This association is good. We make choices. So there are few things which we choose and there are few things which we cannot choose. They are just part of our destiny. So life is neither in this extreme of being Bhagyavadis, driven by fate, nor with the Karmavadis, just driven by choices and free will. Life is in between the two. Madhyam Marg. Few things are fixed and few things are there in your hand as well. Yes.
You were talking a lot about association, which I personally know is so important because I was previously in a very bad company. And then, when I changed my association, I know how much of a big difference it made. It just changes the type of person you are. I wanted to ask you that whom do you think we should look up to as role models? Because honestly, nowadays it's all celebrities, Bollywood, Hollywood, that's who we're looking up to, right? I know that you mentioned in one of your videos that Guranga Das Prabhu is someone you really look up to, and he was also the teacher of Jay Shetty. So from your perspective, who is the right role model for us to have?
A good role model is one, there is no difference between what he speaks and what he does. So he walks his talk. That's very important. So that's one quality. Second, the person should not have any ulterior motives. That's very important. More there are ulterior motives and the other person only becomes victim. He or she gets exploited, whether physically, financially, emotionally, they get exploited. So that means a person should be the man of integrity. The senses should be under control of that person. That means his senses should be employed in the service of the Lord. In case the senses and the mind are not in control, then they exploit people. And we see such bogus people, in television. Such and such bogus guru took away somebody's daughter, somebody's wife, money, etc. See you after the break, sunny. So we get to see such examples. But these are the people who do not have their senses in control. That person should also have a guru above him. Yes, that means if I am acting as a spiritual teacher for someone, I should also have some spiritual teacher above me. That's also very important. Not that, I'm a freelancing and here and there I just distribute knowledge and there is no one above me to pull my ears. There should also be someone above me. So that means a guru should also have a guru to give proper guidance. So that's another thing. He should claim to be servant of the Lord. He should not claim to be God, or he would say, I can make you God. No. A sincere well-wisher would always claim to be servant of the Lord and would also make you the servant of the Lord or devotee of the Lord. That's another quality which we should go for in a mentor and a guide. He should also have the maturity to give right kind of guidance, either on social level and or on spiritual level. He should be able to give practical guidance. Yeah, that's also very important. He should be like a postman of the Supreme Lord. That means he doesn't do addition or subtraction. He just delivers the message as it is. That's one more quality which is required. And that way a message would always be perfect. Person may be imperfect, but the message would be perfect because it is coming from the Supreme Lord. So that's also another quality which a person should have, who can be our mentor, our guide. Such people are rare species. We have to find them. But once we get them, and then we can sincerely devote ourselves and take proper guidance and make this human form of life a success.
Thank you so much, Amogh Lila Prabhu Ji. This was such an amazing conversation. It just brings me back to all the wants and desires I had for you to come on the show ever since we first spoke. And I just if we had more time, I could just go on and on with my questions, because there is no limit to your wisdom and your knowledge. So I really hope from this episode, all the audience watching can just take whatever they feel is relevant in their lives and implement that. And I'm so grateful to you for coming on Under the Tree. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.